Welcome to the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for August 20th. This is Gina McGuire. Over the next couple of days, we'll see an increase in fire potential across the Great Basin due to lightning. Today, we'll see rather isolated coverage over only the far southern areas. However, we will see an increase in moisture on Sunday, with wetter thunderstorms developing over southern Utah, the Arizona Strip, into southern Nevada. And even in southern Nevada, where we may not see much rainfall, humidity will be increasing. However, further north and west over western Nevada and the Sierra Front, these storms will be a mix of wet and dry and will be increasing fire potential in very dry areas. However, on Monday is the day where this coverage expands over the entire northern half of Nevada into potentially southwest Idaho. These thunderstorms will be moving much faster as a front moves into Idaho, therefore rainfall will likely be limited on Monday over the northern half of Nevada. Also, as we move into early next week with that front moving from the north into Idaho, we'll see an increase in winds once again with drier conditions over the northern portion of the basin. Looking at the last 24 hours, we did see some lightning across eastern and southern Utah with very isolated strikes further west into Nevada. These thunderstorms in Utah were generally on the wetter side, with many areas in the Arizona Strip up into southwest Utah seeing anywhere from a tenth to over a third of an inch of rainfall. Looking at the Great Basin fire activity over the last 24 hours, indicated by the red circles, generally light initial attack with small fires and mostly across Idaho into Wyoming and Utah. Now looking at the observed precipitation, the percent of normal precipitation over the last 1 to 4 weeks. The last 7 days is the image on the left, showing very dry conditions over much of Nevada, western Utah into southern Idaho, and even areas that did see some rainfall was well below normal. And even over the last 30 days, again, these prolonged dry conditions continue over southwest Idaho into northern and western Nevada, and the only areas that really saw moisture was southern and eastern Utah, with again most of this area still below normal. However, some areas were near normal, especially over far southern Utah into the Arizona Strip. How this relates to our current fuel conditions: with the wetter conditions in place over the southern portion of the basin, obviously ERCs are much lower and still remain below the 50th percentile. However, we have seen some increases recently, especially over southern Nevada, due to the dryness. Further north, however, ERCs remain critical, with most areas above the 80th or 90th percentile, and still areas over western and northwest Nevada above the 97th percentile. The water vapor satellite loop from this morning shows the low and cold front that moved through the Great Basin yesterday is now well to the east, with the front pushing much of the moisture in the Great Basin to far southern areas and mainly in the southwest. We will continue to see northwest wind flow across Idaho and Utah into Wyoming today, but will be weaker than what we saw yesterday. However, as we move into Sunday and next week, this moisture that's been pushed south quickly returns to the north for a return of lightning, especially over the Sierra into western and northern Nevada, which is where these storms will be a mix of wet and dry and increasing fire potential. Again, with that dry weather pattern in place across the Great Basin today and northwest winds, this will push any moisture into the far southern portion of the basin with only isolated lightning today. This is also where fuels are less critical, therefore generally low to moderate fire potential is expected. Looking at the weather conditions today, again, those showers and thunderstorms in the far south. We also will see thunderstorms along the Sierra Crest, mainly along and on the west side of the crest. Again, winds today will be much lighter, with winds generally around 15 miles per hour with some gusts slightly higher. Looking at Sunday, we now have high pressure dominating the basin. This will allow moisture to return from the south, and this will also increase our lightning chances over central and western Nevada into the Sierra, and these thunderstorms will be a mix of wet and dry, increasing fire potential. Right in the Sierra and the higher terrain, we'll likely see these storms transition to wet later in the day. However, initially, dry lightning and gusty outflow winds are the main threats. Further south, we'll continue to see lightning over the southern areas of the Great Basin, but again, we'll see higher humidity and lower critical fuel conditions. On Sunday, the image on the left shows the weather pattern, and you can see where those showers and thunderstorms will develop. We'll also see general northwest wind flows. However, as you can see by the area over western Nevada, this brighter pinks and purples, these are indicating stronger outflow winds that will likely occur from the thunderstorms. On Monday, we see a trough of low pressure and cold front moving in the northern side of the basin, but moisture is still in place over Nevada and Utah into far southwest Idaho. And as this front moves in, we'll see much faster storm motion over the northern half of Nevada into southern Idaho. Therefore, any lightning will likely be fast moving and produce much less amounts of precipitation. Therefore, dry lightning will be increasing fire potential in these areas. Up into Idaho, it's uncertain how far north this lightning will occur, but it looks like it'll be more likely near the Nevada-Idaho border. Further south, wetter conditions continue with thunderstorms. The image on the left shows these areas of thunderstorms. However, again, they may be a little bit further north into southwest Idaho. As that front moves into Idaho, the image on the right shows the winds, and winds will be increasing with speeds generally between 30 and 35 miles per hour or higher depending on the strength of the front across southern Idaho into Wyoming. Also further south, we'll continue to see those gusty outflow winds with the thunderstorms. Over the next 3 days, the amount of precipitation is generally light across Nevada, but again, as those storms become wetter in the Sierra, precipitation will be increasing along with over southern areas of the Great Basin. Looking a little bit further ahead in the week, on Tuesday, that cold front moves further east with that drier air pushing through Idaho into northern Nevada. Therefore, areas that see lightning will see much drier air as we move into the day on Tuesday and still may see some gusty winds. We have not highlighted the winds yet in the significant fire potential product, but that may be something we do on Monday and Tuesday over parts of the northern half of the Great Basin. This will also push the moisture further south, with still thunderstorms continuing over southern and eastern Utah into the Arizona Strip and southern Nevada. By Wednesday, this drier air spreads across the Great Basin, with many areas seeing decreasing lightning coverage. However, winds look to remain moderate. By Thursday, we still see some type of trophy conditions over the Great Basin, and we also may see some moisture start returning again or pushing back up into southern areas of the basin for a return of showers and thunderstorms. However, again, this is where fuels are not as critical. On Friday, another low drops in from the north, and this may bring some more precipitation to parts of Idaho finally, along with some cooler temperatures. And this will also continue the thunderstorm threat further south. We'll be monitoring this area to see if there's any increases in fire potential in Idaho, again for lightning later in the week, but right now it looks like possibly cooler weather and maybe some showers. The overall amount of forecast precipitation over the next 7 days is mainly across Nevada and Utah, and that will likely occur early in the week. Looking at a little bit further ahead into the first week of September and the very end of August, generally dry and warm conditions expected especially over the northern half of the Great Basin, with maybe near normal or slightly cooler temperatures further south. That concludes our briefing for today. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us. Thank you for listening.